morning, we're the Highwaymen. My name's Jason, and this is my wonderful colleague.
Thank you. Yes, feeling awfully festive, aren't we, Jay?
We
Today
are.
With our little Santa hats on and everything. And yeah, anyway, I'm Steve, Santa Steve today. And here we are. It's nearly Christmas, mate, isn't it?
I know. How could you guess? How could you guess? I have to say, this is not me at all, but Steve put his on, and I didn't want to be outdone. So I had to get up and get some. And actually getting up, Steve actually got to see the rest of my outfit, didn't you, Steve?
Well, I did. And I've got to say, nothing I've not seen before, but maybe you should give everyone a quick view.
Yeah, no, I think that's for another video, mate. We'll do a video on dodgy underwear another time. Anyway, without further ado, today what we're going to talk about, we are going to be talking about astral projection. Do we know what that is, Steve? Have you heard of that before? Well, I know you hadn't.
I think I do.
You hadn't heard of it. You hadn't heard of it, have you? You hadn't heard of it until I mentioned it to you. Oh, have you?
No, I have because I have experience. If it's what I'm thinking of,
what do you think it is? What do you think it is?
Well, I believe it's like an out-of-body experience, if you like,
yes.
but being able to go somewhere else and actually genuinely feels like you are there and you're walking. If you go into a house, it's like you're actually going through the doors and going through all the different rooms, but you're not. Am I right?
Yes, you are pretty much right. If you've ever seen Doctor Strange in the Marvel universe, he does a lot of astral projecting. There's a bit where he hits Spider-Man and Spider-Man comes out of his body, and that's
oh my God, I'm dead.
You're not dead, you've just been separated from your physical form.
My physical... What?
How are you doing that?
I have no idea.
You should not be able to do that.
This feels amazing.
And there are people who believe they can actually do this as a thing. You know, actually, go bed at night and just go on a little travel.
Yeah. Well, I'm with it, and I've done
You're with it. You've done it. Tell us.
I've done it.
Tell us your story, Steve.
In my head, I have done it. So when we lived up on the island, we sold our house. Anyway, we went into a rented house, and it was very, very dilapidated. I mean, really dilapidated. The bloke who owned it is dead now, bless him. What a lovely bloke. Anyway, he charged me literally next to nothing. It was ridiculous how little it was. But the deal was, I was going to renovate it and do it all up, obviously, before we actually moved into it. So this I did. I was very proud of it, to be honest, by the time we'd finished. And anyway, when the time came to move out of there back into our own house sort of thing, I really missed that house. And on 2 occasions, I actually put myself back in there. And here's the weirdest thing. Somebody else was living there at this point, right? So my only memory of it was obviously of when we left it, if you like, when we were living there. So it was so real, Jay. I mean, honest to God, so I could actually feel the flooring on my feet, but I wasn't walking, which is dead weird.
Yes.
Dead weird. I wasn't walking. I was actually more gliding, I suppose, or whatever, if you like. But I could feel the carpet under my feet. It's one of the things we did. We put all carpet through it and everything else. But here's the weirdest thing. As I was going through it, it wasn't as we'd left it. There was different furniture and there was different bits and pieces and stuff like that. So and the person, and here's another weird thing, the person that was then living there, I actually went into our bedroom and I saw them asleep in their bed.
So do you think this was more like a dream?
No, it definitely wasn't a dream. It definitely wasn't a dream. I was awake. I was conscious to a point, but no, because I'd actually mentally made myself do it. I was in a bad place mentally, I suppose, and I wanted some calmness. And that place was a very calm place.
Right.
So I literally just lay there trying to get to sleep is what it was.
Yeah.
And I don't know, whatever time in the ridiculous time it was. And I just lay there and I literally relaxed all my body and I visualized it. But it went beyond visualizing it. It actually went to a point where I literally was walking into the front door. And I went in, and I was there. I absolutely was. And it was at the point that I was like experimenting, going, how far can I go? Where can I go? What can I see? What can I do?
Did you not wait till they got up and got in the shower and went back for
Well,
a
I
peek?
could have done. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe
I
that's
don't know.
tonight's visit. Maybe that's tonight's homework. You should see if you can go back and find out that if get them in the shower.
I've never been able. I've
Assuming they're
never
worth
been
looking
able
at in
to
the
do it
shower.
since.
Right.
I've tried. I've
Yes.
tried. I've never been able to do it since.
Have you tried specifically for that place? I mean, maybe there's a little bit of a psychic link to that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
Right.
I have. And no, I never. I thought I had, but I know I hadn't.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Now, here's my experience of astral projection. So, I remember driving along, and I think it was on the radio. I suddenly heard the term astral projection. And
were you driving an Astra?
I was driving an Astra. No, I was driving an astral projection. Now, I suddenly heard the term astral projection, and all of a sudden, I had this huge bank of memories just coming to me. I didn't even know what it was. I remember thinking, what the hell is astral projection? And then I just kind of thought about the words and thought what it might mean. And then I had this huge surge of memories of my childhood of a repetitive dream. Okay. Now, this dream involved me coming out of my bed. And I say repetitive dream. I remember dreaming this lots and lots and lots of times. I would come back out of my bed. I would float down the stairs. This is the house I grew up in. And I would go into the floor.
Oh, okay. Downstairs, okay, so, is this?
Yeah, and I'd go into the ground. This is all I can remember, is going down and going into the ground. And the only other thing I can remember is having to get back into my body very quickly because something was coming after me.
Wow.
That's all I remember of the astral projection. Now, when I think back to my childhood, I apparently used to sleepwalk a lot.
Right.
So I would often go down the stairs. So we had a very small council house, which for people in other countries, that's like government housing. So we had a very small council house, and we were a big family, a family of 5 children, so 7 of us in the family, and the dining table was very much sort of squished up against the wall. You couldn't kind of walk around it, but the chairs were kind of right up to the wall at the back. So when we went in for dinner, you had to literally climb over the chairs to get in to sit down, And apparently, I do remember being told that I would go down the stairs, walk into the lounge, stand on the first chair, walk all the way around the table, along the chairs, and go back up to bed. So I was a sleepwalker. And so whether I'm partially remembering sleepwalking and being chased back into bed, or being told I've got to go back to bed, or whatever, I don't know, or whether this was the thing, but I remember it being a repetitive dream. And but I never even remembered it until I heard the term astral projection. A bit like when sometimes when you get a bit of a jogged memory of a dream you've had the previous night, you're driving along and something kind of jogs your memory, and you're kind of like, oh my God, I was dreaming about that last night. It was kind of one of those, but it was a dream from like years and years ago, and I do remember it being a repetitive dream. So have I astrally projected? Maybe, but the scary thing for me is the fact that I was being chased by something horrible, like something evil was after me, and I had to get back into my body before it got to me, and that was the kind of crazy thing. Yeah,
probably Greg.
Probably Greg, could well be. I saw him last night. Yes, you never know. That's my older brother, for people that don't know. So that's my thing on astral projection. I think it would be an amazing kind of thing to be able to do. To actually physically be able to travel to different places if you could master the art of it.
It's kind of like meditation, isn't it?
Yes.
It's interesting that you should say as a kid, because as children, I'm convinced that children have the ability to see and do a great deal more than as grown-ups you can. They reckon that we'll go back to ghosts and things and bits and pieces, more spiritual things, that children are a lot more in tune with that. Perhaps because they've not been tainted by the reality of living at that moment in time. And the other switch side is we only use a certain proportion of our brains. That's a scientific fact, right? So I actually
don't know if that is. I saw something today saying that's not true.
Oh, Okay.
Yeah, I've always believed that. I've always believed that as well. But I actually saw something the other day saying that it wasn't true.
The electronics, don't they?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the amount of electronic activity that's going on.
Steve only uses part, not Steve definitely doesn't use 100% of his brain. I just wanted that in there.
Try very hard not to.
You know,
try very hard not to. But I do. Yeah, I honestly think that things like that could it be that we are capable of doing such things? I mean, your Buddhist monks and things like this that spend so long meditating and in an almost a trance-like state. If you believe in God and believe that there is a spirit and there's a soul and everything else,
then theoretically you have
why
to.
not?
Yeah.
Why not be able to move around and go and see other things rather than locked in your body?
I mean, I think culturally, you know, like I say, we do believe in the spirit. We do believe that once we die, this kind of part of us, this kind of spiritual side of us, will go on somewhere else and live happily ever after. We believe that, or reincarnation, or whatever you call it. So the theory that you could potentially separate that now, would, if you believe in those things, then that would potentially be a possibility. Maybe, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I'd love to be able to experience it. I mean, you know, to be able to sort of travel at great distances for, you know, over the period of time. But like you say, you know, is it a good thing? Is that nasty thing going to come and get you at the end of it? Do you have to rush back to your body?
But the other interesting thing was, I remember with my one was I had to make a massive effort to get back into my body.
Right.
I didn't just open my eyes and there we are. I remember literally having to rewind my. Say it wasn't steps, it was flow. I had to rewind all the way through back to the place that I began.
Yes.
Which was interesting, I thought.
It's crazy, because I think the other thing is, you've got to remember, is how vivid dreams can be. You know.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So we make dreams very vivid. I mean, and again, all my dreams revolve around that house that I grew up in. Like whenever I'm dreaming, even like now, I'll have dreams. I mean, I was never with my wife. She never stepped foot in that house. But I can dream that me and her are back there doing stuff together, or even living there sometimes, you know. So everything revolves. Whenever I dream about being in a house, and it's not the house I lived in the longest in my life. Our last house was the one I lived in my longest. But it's always the one that I seem to come back to in my dreams, which is interesting.
It is. You have unanswered questions there.
I do. Definitely.
Yeah, you have.
And it wasn't, and again, and it wasn't the happiest time. So it's weird that I do go back there, but
that's what it is. You're trying to analyze things.
Yeah,
you're trying to make sense of stuff that happens.
That's me all over. I'm Mr. Analytical.
So there we are. I think it's a thing. I personally do, you know, and I think if you try harder, well, have a go. Everybody, have a go.
Yes.
Our challenge to you is to basically get yourself in a nice, quiet place, relax your body, spend some time relaxing your body,
astral travel. Yes.
Astral travel.
Yes. So let us know if in the comments, please, if you've had an astral projectional experience.
Yeah, we'd love to know.
Yeah, if you've astral projected, not vomitile projected, you've done that as well. And let us know in the comments. Tell us.
Projection over a young lady once.
Let us know in the comments your thoughts of it. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, Steve, what are they got to do? Tell me. Tell me. It's Christmas. We've got to ring the bells at Christmas.
We've got to ring the Christmas bells, haven't we? Yeah.
Yes.
So please press our very, very shiny bell end.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care. Have a nice Christmas.
Have a great Christmas. Cheers, everybody.